Tuesday night, opening night in the association, and NBA TV's coverage starts early. 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific. Skip work, skip school, just be locked into NBA TV. Followed after Game Time as starters, then Smitty's favorite show, 10 before tip, 6:30.
That's your show, huh? I think
well, I'm on it.
You're marketing, huh?
We lead right into TNT's doubleheader on Tuesday night. So before we get to the regular season, let's put a bow on the preseason. We give you Smitty's 5 takeaways from the exhibition action. Let's start here with the Jazz, but not about the defense, the offense.
Yeah, the offense, and obviously the Utah Jazz last season, their offense has struggled at times. We know they're very efficient and can defend, but they got out in this preseason 5-0 far as record, but the offense averaging 123 points in the preseason. Yes, it's a preseason, but those guys got the rhythm going and knocked down shots. Grayson Allen averaging 12.6 points, shooting 50 from the field and about 50 from 3, so he's definitely helping that offense for the Utah Jazz.
It was an offense that was 19th in the NBA in scoring per game last year. Speaking of scoring, the Wizards, takeaway number 2 from the preseason, their bench, they need to be big this year.
Yeah, number 1 so far in the preseason, scoring-wise, and last year they were ranked around 16. They have some new additions. Troy Brown, their junior, their draft pick. Austin Rivers has come over. Satoransky, who played a lot of starters minutes, I think is going to be fantastic. Oubre Jr.
But Jeff Green.
And, oh, man, Uncle Jeff Green, who I think is going to be a great addition for them. So that's good for the Washington Wizards. We know they're loaded as far as a starting, unit, but I think this bench can definitely help them.
And we learned the other day that Bradley Beal is the president of the Jeff Green fan club. He's really excited to play with him. Go up a little north to Madison Square Garden. The Knicks looking for some players. Don't know what they're going to be all about, but an undrafted rookie has arrived.
And I was surprised he wasn't drafted, but I think you start to look at this New York Knicks team and you have a guy that's a surprise guy, Alonzo Trier. He has been fantastic. Like I said again, undrafted, but he's averaging 14 points, shooting 47%. He has a chance to get some major minutes with the Knicks. He's another isolation guy that can get his shots and can play well. He was a big-time player coming out of high school and college, just didn't get drafted.
On a 2-way contract, it appears he'll start with the Knicks G League team, and then as the Knicks need guys, they will bring him into the Garden to play. Let's talk about a backup for the Oklahoma City Thunder. We mentioned Russell Westbrook's injury earlier. What does Dennis Schroeder do for this team, and what have you noticed so far?
Well, you have a starter that was with the Atlanta Hawks, and obviously through this trade that he'll get a chance to come off the bench and I think also play with the Russell Westbrook. I mean, Dennis Schroeder can flat out defend. He's one of the guys that can play pick and roll, can get into the lane. What I like about him, he got a chance to gain some trust with the staff, also with his teammates while Russell Westbrook is out. I think he's going to be a great addition for the OKC Thunder.
In the preseason, Schroeder, 22 assists, just 11 turnovers. Everybody says Sam Presti had the great offseason retaining Paul George, obviously. But the Schroeder move and some of those tweaks Presti made were big for the bench as well. All right, we've been talking a lot about the Jimmy Butler drama in Minnesota. Let's shift the attention there to what Tom Thibodeau does have available to him. Karl Anthony Towns, not acceptable, not happy with how they've been playing in the preseason. He was 3rd-team All-NBA. Is a guy like Towns ready now to take that next step and carry a team to a playoff?
And that's the big question. Even with Jimmy Butler, they didn't have any distraction. It was like, when can when can Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins take that next step as far as their game, as far as leadership? And now if no Jimmy Butler, where does it come from? They have some guys in Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, and also Taj Gibson, but I think it has to come from Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins.
Well, they say that the score and result doesn't matter in the preseason, but does it? We come back on this edition of Game Time and tell you how the Warriors have fared over their last 4 runs to the NBA Finals in exhibition action and what it may mean for the season ahead. Game Time coming right back on NBA TV. Of the preseason, Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum.
Ooh, he got into his jump shot quick.
McCollum, 14.5, 21 in the game against the Sacramento Kings. Number 2 pick, Marvin Bagley III.
I like his game.
Got the start the last 2 times out. Last 2 games, 14 of 28 from the field. Interesting to see what position he gets used at.
Score.
How about Myers Leonard rising above the rim? Leonard, 13-point fourth quarter. He had 17 for the game. Seth Curry over Leonard from downtown. Portland wraps up the preseason with a W. At the buzzer, what's behind your preseason record? Well, if you were the defending champs, does it mean anything? that Golden State wasn't very good this preseason. Last time they were below 500, they lost in the finals. More from this game. We showed you the highlights earlier. Remember when Lance Stevenson got ejected? Well, Golden State had the option to pick somebody from the Laker bench to shoot a free throw. Steve Kerr said, LeBron James, you're the guy.
That's pretty good. You can see they're having a lot of fun, and Steph and those guys, definitely, they're trying to get him to take off his sweats and get out there and shoot the free throw.
And they know if the King has any weakness, it's fourth quarter free throws, right?
Okay,
but here's the real problem. LeBron didn't have a jersey, so that's
what it was. Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
He should have got a tick.
So JaVale McGee was the next choice.
I'm sure they picked JaVale.
Listen, you have to pick out something with LeBron.
Yes.
Dude, he's going to win MVP.
You ready for the season?
Let's go. Come on.
Let's go.
Preseason over. We'll see you in the regular season. How each of the first-year players are performing. Over the next few minutes, we're going to show you several of the top 10 picks from the 2018 NBA draft. Starting with number 3, Luka Doncic. Got the Dallas Mavs home for the Hornets, and here comes Doncic. The steal, put it up top, and Dennis Smith Jr. Look at the connection.
This combination is exciting to see. You have both guys he can handle, and obviously you have one as a super high flyer. Look at that Malik Monk knocking that one down.
Yeah. Guy who certainly wants more playing time this year. And by the way, watching Malik Monk some Monks in Dallas.
Okay.
Coincidence? I think not. More from Monk, the crossover. And then Willie Hernandez-Gomez, the layup. They're expecting big things out of him, the former New York Knickerbocker. Monk had 8 points and 5 assists.
Okay, Doncic with a nice step back. Pretty good move. He's not quick, but he's deceptive, and he has some skills.
Right.
Separation, that's all you need, no matter how you get it.
But you know he can play make, but creating for himself, right, as well, that's going to be watched. Defenders much better here than over in Europe.
Nice move, nice cut. He's showing a little athleticism.
Now back to Charlotte here. Oh, but Doncic, the steal. Turns it into some offense. Worried about his defense too, right? So far, so good.
So far, so good. He's comfortable. You can see right here. Great feel, great vision. Looked the defensive off with his eyes, and then it made a perfect pass.
By the way, DeAndre Jordan asked on Friday night what he brings to the Mavs that they were missing. A sense of style, fashion. Charlotte got it going a bit. Miles Bridges.
Nice three. We get comfortable, Sparty.
13 points, 7 rebounds for him. Charlotte goes on the road to win, but the story here is the performance of Luka Doncic, who, after committing 4 turnovers in each of his first 3 preseason games, Doncic just 1 miscue in 31 minutes on Friday. So, Smitty, the number 3 pick heads into the regular season, averaging about 15 points, 3.5 assists, making 10 of 23 from 3 during 4 preseason games.
Well, I love what Coach Carlisle is doing. He's just letting him play to his strengths. He's not saying, hey, we're going to have you at a certain position. They are just playing free range basketball. And it's not something where it's not styled the way where they're just going out and playing loosey-goosey. His feel, is he a point guard, is he a small forward? He's a basketball player, so is Dennis Smith Jr. And both those guys together, people have been asking who's the point guard, who's not, who's going to be the number 1 guy. You just go play basketball, and you have 2 unselfish guys who know how to play, and if you're playing to win, it will work out, and so far, so good for those 2 youngsters.
All right, got some news out of Miami tonight. A report says that the Heat have agreed to a 3-year extension with Justice Winslow, who's often been talked about as a guy maybe the Heat are dangling out there in trade talks, or maybe one that they were protecting, wanting to hang on to, a former first-round pick back a couple of years ago. Had the Heat not gotten a deal done with Winslow prior to Monday, they would have had to wait till the end of the season to negotiate, at which time Winslow would have become a restricted free agent. We got the Heat and the Hawks wrapping up the preseason, and Jeremy Lin, wrong shorts.
It's okay.
You see that from the Charlotte Hornets the other day? Somebody forgot to wear their jersey. Jeremy Lin, new year.
Change.
Got to get the right shorts on there. Lin and the Hawks in Miami take on the Heat, and oh, there's Jeremy Lin.
Right shorts. He's playing well with the right shorts.
Lin, 20 points, 7 of 10 from the field. Dwayne Wade playing.
Okay,
final.
Dwayne Wade getting a little rust knocked off, and there's Trae Young.
That looked like the game winner he had the other night.
Well, the game winner was a little deeper.
Now pass, Kent Bazemore.
That's what you got to watch. You see his passing with either hand and his vision. The kid is a basketball player who loves to play and plays with a lot of confidence. He's going to be okay.
Played just 16 minutes, Trae Young did, scored 11 points, had 5 assists. Hassan Whiteside Curious to see what his role will be with the Heat, how often he'll play in big moments of games this year. Or Spoelstra often put him on the bench last year. Josh Richardson, he's also been one that many believe Minnesota wants back in return as part of the package for Jimmy Butler. Richardson, 24 points.
Yeah, so he can do it on both ends. You can see his scoring is up, being able to knock down shots. He plays extremely hard on the defensive end. He's a nightmare, so the Heat are looking to reap the rewards from having this young guy.
Look where we're going to.
Sparty, the Breslin. The house I built.
That's right, and Blake Griffin trying to tear it down there. Watch the rims. They're expensive.
Easy, Blake.
Got Detroit taking on Cleveland, where the East apparently runs through.
Was that Channing Frye?
That is
Okay, Channing with the left.
Put it on the highlight reel for the year. Blake Griffin.
Nice move.
Yeah, this guy. He can score, we know that. Dwayne Casey wants him to be a passer, wants him to be a facilitator, a guy that can get the ball and do a whole lot with it. Blake, 11 of 17 from the field, 29 points.
Ooh, he is going at the front line of the Cavs.
Are you okay if Blake leads the team in assists rather than a Reggie Jackson?
No, I mean, I like him being able to pass, but I think ultimately you got to have a Reggie Jackson leading this team in assists, you know, because Reggie Jackson's guy's going to have his hands with the basketball, should be more than Blake.
All right, that was Andre Drummond from Stanley Johnson. Drummond, 21 points, 15 rebounds. We also saw a highlight there from Colin Sexton for the Cavs, the 8th pick in the draft. Sexton had 8 points on 4 of 10 shooting for Cleveland. Spurs and Magic and another high draft pick. We've got Mo Bamba in action for the Orlando Magic, taking on the Spurs. And Mo, got the Bamba there.
That was too easy. Okay. Not a lot of defense right now from the Spurs in this preseason game.
And where's the offense coming from? Well, here, LaMarcus Aldridge, Patty.
The ball's going to move with the Spurs no matter what.
Right on the two-man game. Now Aldridge again, working on Jonathan Isaac.
Ooh, way to take the young fellow to school right in that paint.
DeMar DeRozan.
Hey,
That's what
DeRozan.
he's going to do, attack, right?
He can attack.
Interesting to see how DeRozan and Aldridge learned to share the ball where they like to work. And on the final night of the preseason, DeRozan leads the team with 20. LaMarcus had 13. The man-on-man, as we talked earlier, just injuries continue to devastate the San Antonio Spurs. Well, the Bucks, they can avoid injury. Feel they can go pretty deep in the Eastern Conference this year. More from Giannis Antetokounmpo's triple-double Friday night in Milwaukee.